Hey, Rachel Michael here with EDL 850 Case Study Internet Use Violations. So the problem here is about proper use and etiquette with social media and also promoting student success and teacher success. So the problem identification analysis, first of all, what do I know? I know the school is in an affluent neighborhood and that the students are privileged and the parents are able to provide their students with their technology. It is a reputable school. The principal is highly regarded. I also know that Miss Walker is a highly qualified teacher and her job was competed for, but she's also relatively new and her class is she's very strict and her class is quite rigorous for the students. Therefore, she has had multiple parent and student complaints about the demands of her course, in addition to her lack of rapport with the students. There have been attempts made at remedying the situation with Miss Walker. The principal, the administrator, has tried several times to help Miss Walker improve her rapport with the students, and she has not cooperated with those attempts. And I also know that an email was sent to Ms. Walker directing her to a website that had inappropriate comments and threats on there regarding her. And so what do I need to know? First, the first thing that popped into my mind was, where did this email come from? Who created the website? And was it on a school computer or a personal computer, or personal time or school time, because that does make a difference. I need to review the school's adequate use policy and check it over for specifics regarding usage and consequences for violations. I need to find out what students know, and I need to find out what students are potentially offenders and which ones can help me find those offenders. I really need to know what's going on in that classroom. I've heard from Mrs. Walker and parents and students, but I need to find out exactly what's happening in there. And I also need to find out what legal obligations I have, what moral and ethical responsibilities I have to the students, to the parents, and to the community, as well as Ms. Walker. Identifying the problem. The problem here, first of all, is that Ms. Walker is upset and she feels unsafe, which is not how we want our teachers to feel in their work environment. There is a website with harmful and threatening words being used, and this is clearly a violation of internet use. At the very least, it is not proper etiquette and certainly inappropriate. I do not know where the origin of the website or the email is from. I also know that whatever students this did originate from are going to need to face some consequences that align with the school and district policies. I know I've got unhappy parents and students. I know that the educational process in my school is being disrupted, and this is certainly not good for school culture, which is one of my responsibilities to provide that school culture and shared vision. I know that Ms. Walker's classroom is not working. Something in there is clearly not working. So my steps to resolve this problem: first of all, I want to make sure Ms. Walker feels safe. She is an employee, she is a teacher, and I want to make sure my teachers feel supported and backed 100%. So I need to make sure that I can do what I need to do to make sure she feels safe at work and with the students. Second, I need to make sure that the educational processes at school continue. I certainly don't want there to be rumors fluttering around and anything disrupting the school day and distracting the students and the teachers. So this may mean that I have to address my staff possibly at some point so that I can shut down the rumors, because we know things snowball very quickly when staff starts talking. I need to find out the origin of the email on the website. I need to identify potential students, what their consequences are going to be, but I also need to make sure that I have given them due process. I can't just start throwing accusations around. I need to make sure that students are able to defend themselves. I need to review school and district policies, and then I'm going to contact authorities if it's appropriate based on my findings, and it may be. I need to make sure I keep in contact with parents of affected students before pulling students in and doling out any consequences. I need to make sure that parents are aware of what is happening, and I need to make sure that I keep in touch with them. And then finally, I need to find a way to encourage and help Ms. Walker to be a more effective teacher and build relationship with her students while keeping the same rigorous type of curriculum she has in place. And my actions. Here are my strategies that I've come up with. First, I'm going to set up a meeting with Miss Walker and talk to her about her feelings, find out what I can do to make her feel safe, that is within the scope of my authority. What can I do for her? I'm most likely going to need to address the staff at some point. I'm sure word is getting around quickly, most likely in the form of a staff meeting. I'm going to need to contact the technology department and see if they can find the origin of this email website or the creator. And this may be difficult if this was not done during school time or on a school computer. I need to interview the students in Miss Walker's classes. I need to see if I've got students that can give me any information or any leads or any feedback regarding the atmosphere in that classroom. I do need to speak with Randy, but I want to make sure not to speak just with Randy. Certainly can't single out students at this point. And I need to look over the district policy on the acceptable use of our internet. Was there indeed a violation, or was this a prank gone awry? What the punishments are as outlined in that policy, and if I have any legal obligations that are outlined in that policy as well. My continued strategies are that my parents, students that are accused or interviewed need to be informed, as I said before, and I'm going to make sure that I document everything that comes my way. I'm also going to come up with a formal plan of assistance to help Ms. Walker, which includes me observing her classroom frequently and following up with her throughout that plan. And I need to find out, I need to make sure that I do what is best for students. I am going to make sure my staff is taken care of, but I also need to make sure that my student body is taken care of. I need to address the expectations with my students. I do have a lot of students that are privileged and in a highly reputable school. I need to make sure that they know what's expected of them. And I also need to make sure that the educational processes in my building continue. And I need to make sure that I maintain a positive school culture that has high expectations for my students and staff. So here are my resolutions based on promoting the success of all students. And I was looking through the standards, and Standard 2 certainly applies here, as well as Standard 5, so I had that in mind as well. I need to promote the success of all students by working with Ms. Walker on her professional development plan and improving her relationships with the students, but I also want to make sure her classes are still rigorous and demanding. Just a simple matter of maybe helping her work on her rapport and interaction with those students and reducing the stress level in some way of her classes. I also need to promote the success of my students by making sure they are in a safe and nurturing learning environment. Students will learn where they feel safe and where they feel supported, and I need to make sure that that continues. I'm also going to promote the success of my students by modeling the integrity and the equal treatment of others and fairness and my morals and the things that I value as the leader of the school. I need to make sure I address internet safety and etiquette with my students and staff. And I need to make sure that I am fair when I am trying to find the cause and the origin of the situation. And I also need to make sure that I follow through with any punishments or consequences or obligations that I have in the district school and district policy. And my debriefing, the things that I was feeling and thinking and the things that I value. For my feelings, mostly I'm feeling some concern and some sympathy for Miss Walker. I certainly don't like that she is uncomfortable. I'm disappointed in my students, and I'm definitely fearing a little bit the community backlash and my parents and what's going to happen with them. I'm thinking about my legal responsibilities. I want to make sure that I follow through and don't drag my feet. I need to think my decisions out very carefully. I need to act quickly, but I also want to make sure I don't jump the gun. And I need to make sure that my school still maintains this learning environment and I'm valuing fairness. I want to make sure that I treat everybody fair, including Miss Walker. I want to make sure that I have my integrity intact and follow school and district policy as it is lined out. And I want to make sure that I value my students' success and I value their needs, and I want to make sure that I keep that positive school culture to ensure their success. And the unresolved issues in this case, things that I still don't know what I'm going to do about. I don't know the creator of the email or website, and I may not find out, and I need to know what I'm going to do if I don't find out. I need to make sure that I know what consequences are going to be in place for my students and how I'm going to hold them accountable, whether or not I do find out where this originated. I still don't know if this was a serious threat or a prank, and I won't know that until I find who created the website. I need to find out. I have no idea if this was created on school time or a personal device or a school device. And I also need to think about what steps are going to be taken if Ms. Walker still does not make the necessary improvements and is just not working well with students and parents in the community. And my reflection, component number one, my demonstration of integrity and ethical behavior. I feel that I showed genuine concern for the safety and well-being of Ms. Walker and my students. I follow my district policies. I'm addressing appropriate internet use. I am keeping an open line of communication with my parents and my students and staff. I'm being informative and I'm being transparent, but I'm also making sure that I am confidential with my dealings with them. Number two, I am treating people fairly. I'm researching the situation before I'm acting, even though I'm trying to move as quickly as possible. I'm taking Miss Walker seriously. I'm not dismissing her concerns or blaming her because she has some classroom management issues. She certainly does, but this is still no excuse for this behavior. And I'm giving my students, I'm being fair to them by giving them opportunities to defend themselves and give me some input. And number three, professional and personal code of ethics. I am being confidential with all of the parties involved, students, Miss Walker, staff. I am keeping my expectations high of Roosevelt students, and I am maintaining that positive school culture that I value so highly by making sure that we have cyberbullying is not accepted and making sure that my students are using the internet appropriately. And I'm also being professional by having my staff meeting. It's important that I gather my staff and make sure that I don't allow rumors to spread or division to occur in the staff. And I certainly don't want rumors spreading about my students. That is the end of my case study. I enjoyed thinking about this. I think it's definitely a potential real-world issue. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.